Welcome to the Fans POV.
You are watching the Fans POV.
I'm hoping to make some better improvements to my Big Daddy while here.
That's probably the worst rendition of the Yan Yan dance that's ever.
It was fine.
It was graceful.
And we commandeer this in the name of the steampunk community.
John, tell us about pre-registration. Tell us about it.
I kept getting rickrolled every time I tried to pre-register.
Car. Chowder. Oh, this is a hard one. Harvard. Yankees rule. Oh, come on.
Oh, you make a sound? It doesn't even make a sound. Oh. Whoa. We're gonna have to clear this area, cut this interview short. I'm sorry, I don't really know what's going on right now, but... Hi everyone, Chrissy here with the Fans POV from Otakon 2010, and with me is a very familiar face. Many of you would have seen him from Ernie down at Katsucon this year. Everyone else who hasn't lived under a rock would also know him as the famous Vic Mignoga.
Well, I don't know how famous, but, and usually probably a lot of people wouldn't know my face, I guess more the voice.
Well, if we know who you are, we know your face.
Really? Well, hi guys. It's nice to almost see you. I'm glad to be here, Chrissy. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I'm glad we were able to get into your busy schedule, because I'm pretty sure you're probably booked solid the whole weekend.
Well, you know, Otakon has been quite a busy weekend, as you can tell. I mean, the place is packed and there's a lot going on, but I'm happy to be able to find some time to talk with you.
Well, I'm glad too. I know, besides being a big famous voice actor, who I know you have like a very long list of credentials. I know you're also a stage actor, and you're also a musician. Out of those two, which one do you find more rewarding?
That's a really good question. The truth is, I mean, I don't know that I would ever be able to pick one over the other, you know? Different things stimulate different parts of your creative mind, you know? And I've always loved music. Since I was very young, I would sing in church, and then when I was in high school, I kind of stumbled across the fact that I could play the piano, and I started writing songs and then producing them and recording them. And now today I've written hundreds of songs and themes and scores for television and radio, and I've produced 20 or 30 records for different artists, and I've got 6 of my own on iTunes. And so music is a huge part of my life, and I mean, I can't even imagine not doing that. But at the same time, the other things that I do as well, acting, I mean, voice acting is acting. It's just using your voice. And myself, along with most of the other voice actors I know, have a great background, a very extensive background in theater. So we've all done a lot of acting and have a lot of experience in theater and, you know, stage and even some on-camera stuff. So I love doing that kind of thing too, and I don't think I could ever give any of it up. I think I would probably rather have like a slice of this and a slice of this and a slice of that, rather than like get rid of all of that and just do this. I could never do it.
Well, I'm glad that, but because I was kind of trying to work a segue here, but that's fine. I know I've seen it online. You are a huge Star Trek fan.
Girl, I challenge you to ask me anything from the original series of Star Trek that I don't know. I memorized most of the episodes of the original series. I mean, like verbatim.
The original's my favorite too, out of all of them.
TOS, baby.
All right.
Come on, buddy.
How many main character nurses did Dr. McCoy have that were always on scene?
Always on scene.
You know, more popular out of...
Well, there was Dr. Mumbega, the African-American guy. Of course, there was Nurse Chapel, of course. Those were kind of the ones that were kind of recurring.
Okay. Those are the only two I remember.
Wouldn't it be cool if I could come up with another one? Come on, give me another one.
Well, I actually wanted to know a little bit about Phase 2.
Ooh, excellent.
Because it's very well known that you are part of a fan. I guess it's more of a fan started.
It is, but I mean, it is a fan endeavor only in that it's not commercial, only in that it doesn't generate revenue. That's the only way that it's a fan production. Because if you've ever seen any of it, the sets the costumes, the music, the sound effects, excuse me, the special effects, everything about it is really, really high production value.
Well, you want to explain to the fans what Phase 2 is?
I'll talk about Star Trek all night long, baby.
We don't have time all night.
Okay, just a minute. Star Trek Phase 2, or Star Trek New Voyages is another name for the production, is a production that was started by people like me who, when they were little kids, loved Star Trek, and now they're grown-ups, and they're all professionals in their respective fields, whether it's acting or lighting or sound design or set building or whatever. But now as adults, they wanted to recreate Star Trek. They wanted to basically extend the original series. So they've started about maybe 5 or 6 years ago. They started producing episodes. They've rebuilt all of the major sets to spot-on accuracy. The uniforms, perfectly accurate, and they've produced probably 5 or 6 episodes now over the last several years, and it's purely made by fans for fans. I'm sorry, there's somebody breaking into the building right now. Do you hear that? It's like a big Star Trek camp. It's like the chance for people, like when they were kids, to live out a childhood dream. You know what I mean? I mean, when I walked on to the bridge of the Enterprise, the set, I was like 12 years old again. I walked on, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And walked down around and sat down. You want to see a picture?
I've actually seen the video you made for your...
Yeah, but you haven't seen this picture. Look at this. Oh. No, look.
Oh, he's in his mode now.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. That's...
It's, remember that production still of Shatner? Remember that picture of Shatner? And I recreated that. And it's me in the captain's chair. Yeah, I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. I'm a dork. But yes, I love Star Trek, and New Voyages is a chance to play Star Trek. And just this last month, we shot a new episode, and I got to play George Kirk. I got to play Captain Kirk's father.
Yeah, because I remember reading that you've been in a couple episodes, and you've actually co-directed it.
Well, I didn't co-direct. I directed one called Katoomba, and I actually co-directed another one. By co-directing, I mean that that the first director kind of took it up to a certain point, but there was a lot of work still to be done, and so I stepped in and finished it. But the episode I directed last year, Katoomba, is about the Enterprise going to the Klingon homeworld. The Katoomba is their emperor, and it was a very Klingon-heavy episode. And I actually, not only did I direct it, but I played the main Klingon bad guy. Full turtle head. I mean, awesome. It was so much fun. And then the episode we just did was a flashback episode when Kirk was a cadet in the academy. So we got a younger guy to play Kirk, and I played his father.
That's really cool.
Yeah, kind of a dream come true.
Well, before Vic gets too carried away, we'll move on to another subject. Well, considering the fact that you said you direct, I know that you have other things, like you direct, you do graphic designing and other things. Do you do too heavily into those, or does voice acting and music take up too much time?
Well, voice acting is probably the largest slice of the pie. But then I do a lot of music work. I do a lot of convention appearances to promote the work that I do. I do video and film work whenever I get the opportunity. Star Trek Phase 2 has got a piece of the time as well. And graphic design whenever I get the opportunity, or I get hired to design somebody's business card, or somebody's logo for their company or something. So I take the opportunities as they come, and I am very grateful for everything I get the chance to do.
That's fun, being able to do all that kind of stuff.
It is.
With music, because I happened to attend your concert yesterday.
Oh, I'm glad you came.
Yes, that was the first time I've ever got to see you sing live.
Did you enjoy it okay?
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
Especially when Todd came up on stage. I think everyone enjoyed that one.
You're Todd Habercorn. Now, are you Todd Habercorn
Little fan,
fangirl?
a little bit.
I think I'm smelling a little Todd Habercorn love over here.
No, you're my favorite. No, you're my favorite. Trust me.
Trust me. Habercorn interview. You're my favorite, Todd. Trust me. That's the way that's gonna go.
But
Well, I asked Todd if he wanted to come up and sing Soldier A with me. And so he's like, well, yeah, sure, I'd love to. And so then he was running out of time. He was supposed to go someplace, and we were late getting started because they were seating everyone. And so he like just walked on up on stage to say hello, and we started that little banter. It was completely unrehearsed, but I love him to death. I wish I were Todd when I was 27 years old like he is. Of course, here I am, twice that age and like his father.
you're lying.
No, I'm not.
But is there any specific kind of genre you like to stick to? Because I know you do, not also you write your own stuff, but you also you'll redo some anime openings and closing themes.
Well, the most recent CD that I released with the fans in mind. I mean, I recorded things that I thought they would enjoy, because this is basically my audience. I mean, my audience are anime fans, and so I thought it would be cool if I could record some songs that I've sung for different anime series. So I worked really hard to get permission from the Japanese people, the owners, the people that own the license to these songs. And my newest CD has songs from Full Metal, from Dean Angel, from Orin High School on it. And yeah, but as far as genre is concerned, I mean, I have always been a sucker for like the love songs and the ballads. I just love those kind of songs. I've had to kind of force myself to sing like up-tempo and write like high-energy up-tempo songs, because I just kind of gravitate toward the slower ballad type things.
Everyone has their almost to heart kind of, that's their where they belong, and that's where they.
Well, that was what got me into writing, singing, and playing in the first place. Like I said in the concert, Barry Manilow. I mean, I was so crazy about that music, and there's something about it that I really liked, and so that was what I started writing, and that was what came out of me naturally. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I wanted to then eventually go back to the anime, and I figured this is a good point. You have a couple of new ones that have
She
been.
wrote in her book, I'm having Todd's baby. I don't know what that means. I just read it. It's just right there. I'm having Todd Habercorn's baby.
That looks a lot awfully like a Japanese name to me.
Well, it does, but see, I know how to translate, and that's what it says actually.
Well, I know you had a couple of a new series recently came out, and I know back a few months ago you were the one that released Funimation's announcement of a couple of OVAs.
Yes, the Tsubasa OVA.
Yes, my
Very
favorite.
excited. Oh, we love Phi. I love that show. What a beautiful series. Yeah, and as things start getting intense, everything's so lighthearted with Phi for so long, and suddenly you start finding out this backstory stuff, and it's amazing.
Are you excited to continue the OVAs?
Excited, very excited.
With the new one, that one got a was it Kakashi, I believe is.
Kakashi, yes, Kakashi is on Cartoon Network. It's on Adult Swim every week right after Full Metal. Full Metal's on at 12, and Kakashi is on at 12:30, and I love it. It's a really fun show. Laura Bailey is in it, like Troy Baker and Travis, and a lot of us Texas people, even though it's done in Los Angeles. And I really am having a good time with it. I would love to encourage all of you guys to check it out. It's a fun show.
Okay, and also I know you also were just announced onto Access Power's Italian.
Yes, what a crazy show, right? Wacky, very wacky, and I'm excited to be a part of it. I auditioned for several different roles, and I was hoping to be able to get to be a part of it in some way, and so I'm excited to be playing Grease. Yeah.
Well, I think everyone's looking forward to all your new stuff coming out, and thank you so much, Vic, because I'm being told we're out of time. Thank you very much, so much.
It was so nice to meet you, and I'm so glad that you have me. Oh wait, here's Todd calling for you. Todd Habercorn's calling for Chrissy. I don't even know if that's about.
All right, everybody. We'll see you all later with the with the podcast later on. We'll see you guys later at the main show. Bye, everybody.